There's a moment in almost every Makoto Shinkai film where the story simply stops. The characters go quiet, and for 3, maybe 4 seconds, all you're looking at is light hitting a puddle, or steam rising off a bowl of noodles, or a comet splitting the evening sky in two. That pause is the whole argument for why Shinkai is considered one of the defining directors of modern anime. He doesn't just tell you a story is emotional, he makes you feel the air pressure change around it. Start with the most obvious signature, the skies. Shinkai trained his eye as a background artist and graphic designer before he ever directed anything, and it shows in every frame he composes. His clouds aren't just weather, they're staged like characters, with their own lighting, their own sense of scale, their own emotional temperature. Compare a Shinkai sunset to almost any other anime sunset. Most productions use 2 or 3 flat gradients and call it done. Shinkai's team paints in layers, haze, particulate light, distant rain bands, so that the sky actually has depth. It's part of why his films are often described as wallpaper quality in the best sense. You could pause almost any frame and it would hold up as a standalone piece of art. It's not just the sky though. Shinkai's backgrounds are famous for a kind of obsessive photorealism. Train station signage you could actually read, vending machine buttons rendered down to the reflection in the plastic wet asphalt that ripples with individual streetlights. This comes from his process. Extensive location photography, sometimes down to the exact angle of a specific staircase or shopping arcade, which his background artists then repaint by hand. The effect is that his Tokyo, or his rural mountain town, doesn't feel like a generic anime backdrop. It feels like a place that existed before the camera got there and will keep existing after the credits roll. That groundedness is what makes the fantastical elements of his stories land as hard as they do. The world feels real enough that you believe the impossible thing happening inside it. Then there's the music. Shinkai treats his soundtrack almost like a co-director. His long-running partnership with the band Radwimps and later collaborations blending vocal tracks with orchestral score isn't used as background texture, it's used as narrative punctuation. Watch how his films structure a montage sequence. Dialogue drops away, a song comes in at full volume, and several minutes of story get told through pure image and music, almost like a mini music video embedded inside the film. It's a technique borrowed loosely from live-action romance and coming-of-age cinema, but Shinkai figured out how to make it work inside animation's rhythm, where every beat can be hand-timed to the score in a way live-action can't always achieve. Structurally, Shinkai's films tend to run on a specific formula. Take a very small, very human ache, distance, timing, missed connection, and stage it against something enormous. A meteor, a climate-altering storm, a door between worlds. The emotional core is almost always deceptively simple, but he refuses to let it stay small on screen. This contrast is deliberate. By making the backdrop massive, the personal stakes feel even more fragile in comparison. 2 people trying to hold on to each other while the sky itself seems to be working against them. It's a technique that echoes classic Japanese literary romanticism as much as it does blockbuster filmmaking, and it's a big part of why his movies hit as hard emotionally as they do visually. None of this happens by accident. Since his breakout, Shinkai has worked with a growing, increasingly refined team, most notably the animation studio Co-Mix Wave Films, which allowed him to scale up from the essentially one-man productions of his earliest short work into large ensemble productions without losing his visual fingerprint. What's remarkable is that the meticulous detail, the reflections, the cloud layering, the lighting logic didn't get diluted as the crews got bigger. If anything, the studio built its entire pipeline around preserving that specific Shinkai look, treating his early solo aesthetic almost like a house style to protect and scale, rather than something to streamline away for efficiency. Now, put all of it together, the sky is painted like portraits, the backgrounds researched like documentaries, the music doing narrative heavy lifting, the small human stories staged against enormous canvases. And you get films that don't just get watched, they get felt, frame by frame. That's the case for Makoto Shinkai, not just a director with a good eye, but one who turned an entire visual language, light, weather, distance, into a way of telling you how a person's heart feels, without needing to say it out loud.